There is a supercomputer in your child's pocket. They use it to code, create, edit, connect. At school, it is contraband, banned, locked away. We call this education, but it looks a lot like obedience. Bells ring like factory whistles. Children line up in silence. Year 6 children are crushed under SATs that no employer will ever read. Let's be honest, most British schools are still running Victorian operating systems, uniform theatre, detentions for socks, homework as unpaid night shifts for families. Children are told to ask permission to use the toilet. They call authority figures sir. They are punished for questioning pointless rules. This isn't about learning, it's about compliance. And when teachers push back, they burn out. 40,000 teachers left state schools in a single year. That's 9% of the workforce walking. This system is not broken. It's working exactly as designed. For control, not creativity. Chomsky warned us, if you build schools that reward obedience, you will get citizens who don't ask questions. We condition kids to tick boxes, not to think. We measure them with abstract numbers instead of real understanding, and we tell ourselves this is preparation for the real world. It's not. It's preparation for authority without question. That's why we have year 6 SATs, pressures, SOC inspections and detentions for attitude. It's why AI and phones are banned instead of taught. And it's why we are losing teachers faster than we can recruit them. We can fix this. Here's the ask. Phones and AI should be taught as tools, not treated as taboos. Homework should be about real learning, not surveillance. Uniform policies should be cost-aware and dignity-aware. Detention should only be for harm or repeated disruption, never for haircuts, socks, or questioning authority. We need to cut pointless paperwork that drives teachers out of the profession. We need fewer high-stakes tests and more portfolios, projects, and exhibitions. Because the kids who will thrive in the future are the curious, the creators, the flexible, and the brave. And right now, we are grinding them down with grey uniforms and fake urgency. Do not wait for ministers, do it now. If you're a parent, teacher, governor, or student, pick 3 of these and move. Pilot phones and AI as guided tools in one class for 4 weeks. Run a homework audit and cap it to reading, writing, and one passion project. Demand a commitment. No compulsory SATs, booster sessions, and no bulk worksheet packs. Table a uniform motion. Simplify the policy. End sock and hair policing. Remove cost traps. Set up a student panel to review rules before they land. Give them a voice with teeth. These are not utopian ideas, they are simple fixes, and every one of them chips away at compliance theater and makes space for learning that matters. And if you want the perfect example of obedience theater, look at SLANT. Sit up, listen, ask questions, nod, track the speaker. It was popularized as a no excuses behavior technique in the book Teach Like a Champion. On paper, it sounds harmless. In reality, it's dehumanizing. Phil Beadle, a veteran teacher, calls it psychologically abusive nonsense that trains children to mimic attention. He says it's about controlling bodies, not opening minds. Michael Rosen, the poet and former children's laureate, calls it obedience theater. He says it punishes children for failing to perform listening, especially the shy, the anxious, and the neurodiverse. Other critics argue slant is part of a zero-tolerance culture that criminalizes normal childhood behavior, and children who don't slant perfectly, who slouch, break eye contact, or fail to nod on command are hit with detentions. Some schools even enforce it with 5-year-olds. This isn't teaching, it's manufacturing silent, compliant children, and the critics are clear, it's damaging. The way we measure ourselves as a country shapes the schools we get. Our ministers love to compare us with Singapore. Why? Because Singapore tops the international league tables in maths, reading and science. But here's the part they don't say out loud. Singapore built an exam machine so intense, it's now dismantling parts of it, streaming kids by ability from age 10. They're ending it. High-stakes testing at every turn. They're walking it back because they've seen the damage. So why are we copying a model the inventors are retreating from? Meanwhile, the country we should be looking at is Finland. In Finland, children don't even start formal school until age 7. Early years education is built on play, outdoor learning, arts, curiosity. This isn't a luxury, it's the method, and it works. Finland consistently scores well in international comparisons. without the mental health crisis that comes from making every test feel like a life or death event. In England, we've gone the opposite way. The EBAC performance measure and league tables have squeezed arts and creativity out of the timetable. GCSE arts entries have dropped by more than 40% since 2010. Drama, music, design, all on life support. If you're in a state school, you probably won't see a school orchestra, or a stage with working lights, or a drama teacher who isn't covering 3 other jobs. We've made the arts nice to have, while we obsess over math drills and exam metrics. And what's missing from the curriculum? Economics, optional if you're lucky, far less likely to be offered in comprehensive state schools than in private schools or grammars. Politics, also optional. Around half of schools don't even offer A-level politics, which means your understanding of how power works depends entirely on your postcode. And when we teach history, we cherry-pick the parts that look good on a postcard. Empire, slavery, workhouses, the poor laws, those aren't the stories that get the spotlight. So here's the picture: art stripped back, creativity downgraded, politics and economics missing, history sanitized, and we wonder why kids grow up believing the only path is to keep their heads down and be work ready. This is not about making children smarter, it's about making them compliant. As Chomsky said, reward obedience, punish independence, and you don't need to fear a generation asking hard questions. The cost isn't just cultural, it's human. 1 in 6 children aged 5 to 16 now has a probable mental health disorder. That's double what it was in 2004. Teachers see it every day, but they're breaking too. Training applications have fallen off a cliff. Recruitment targets missed by half in secondary subjects. Workload and accountability culture are driving talent away. The good teachers, the ones who could fix this, are leaving. Kids with special educational needs are the biggest casualties of zero-tolerance policies, exclusions, off-rolling, detentions, disproportionately aimed at autistic children, those with ADHD, those already dealing with trauma. The message is clear: conform or get out, and it starts young. Slant, silent corridors, behavior contracts for 5-year-olds. We are setting the most vulnerable up to fail. Phones and AI aren't just banned, we're sending kids into a tech-driven economy without any real digital critical thinking. They don't learn how algorithms manipulate what they see, how to protect their data, how to separate fact from propaganda online. Meanwhile, corporations are in the classroom shaping the narrative, sponsored lessons, brand-badged work experience, quietly building brand loyalty and future labor pipelines. Capitalism is the only dogma we teach, and we don't even name it. We don't teach why corporations fund this content. We don't teach how wealth flows or how power works. We just tell kids, pass your tests, fit the mold, and one day you'll be employable. Only 37% of young people go to university. For the rest, we track them into a patchy vocational system that's underfunded and treated as second class. The same EBAC and A-level narrowing that kills arts and creativity locks poorer kids into fewer choices. It's not about talent, it's about the sorting machine. Stop preparing kids for the workplace. Start preparing them for the world. We will publish the action pack and track the schools who try this. Because if you wait for the system to fix itself, you will wait forever. Subscribe to UnSed, we make noise, we get receipts, and we do not wait for permission